the Sharks officially have an opening night roster. So we're going to dive into that. Plus, Anthony Vincent, forward from the San Jose Barracuda, joins the show. We get to know Anthony on and off the ice a little bit more. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, contributor at Inside the Rink, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day, and if you want to be an everydayer, all you got to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube as well, or do both. Both is great. So today we're going to be diving into the Sharks' actual roster, what it means for some of the IR guys, when we can expect to see those guys back. And then Anthony Vincent of the San Jose Barracuda joins, where we get to know Anthony a little bit more. Remember, he made his debut with the Barracuda at the end of last year, got himself an AHL contract this off season, and looks to be kind of a nice piece for the Barracuda. So wanted to get to know him. We learned about kind of his path to San Jose and kind of get to know him off the ice a little bit. So before we do all that, though, do want to let you guys know today's episode is brought to you guys by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're in the bedroom setup today. We have guests over at the house this week, so probably going to be a couple of the bedroom setup this week. So my apologies if no Legos, no jerseys or anything like that. Maybe we'll throw a Lego up there for next time. But so I do, it's just a blank, boring wall. I know people are going to tell me I need to get art on my wall. I don't know. I'm not a big art on the wall person. Anyway, but let's get into what we're here for. And that's the Sharks' new roster for the opening night. So forwards, they have Barabanov, Bordeleau, Duclair, Eklund, Granlund, Hurdle, Hoffman, Cunnin, LeBanc, Smith, Sturm, Zadina, and Zetterlund. So 13 forwards going into the season. And then defense, there's 8: Benning, Burrows, Ty Emerson, Mario Ferraro, Nikolai Knizhov, Jan Ruda, Henry Thrun, Mark-Edward Vlasic. And then, of course, the goaltenders, Mackenzie Blackwood and Capo Kakinen. And then they have a couple, so they put a couple players on. So there's 2 different reserve lists. There's the injured non-roster. So these are guys who kind of got hurt coming into training camp and really haven't been able to do anything yet. With these guys, they can come off the IR list as soon as they're ready. So theoretically, Couture, Nikita Okhotyuk, and Mitchell Russell could all come off tomorrow before the actual season starts. But you would have to make a corresponding move to get your roster back down to 23. So with Couture and Okhotyuk, both those guys are not waiver exempt. Of course, Logan Couture is not going to go on waivers. And Okhotyuk, we'll see with him. I think my thinking with Mike Grier is he wants to kind of see which of these young defensemen, if any of the cream rises to the crop, with your Henry Thruns, your Ty Emersons, your Nikolai Knizhov, see if any of these guys can kind of stick, and then make a decision later on at some point. Mitchell Russell, he is still waivers exempt. So as soon as he comes back, he'll probably just get kicked down to the Barracuda. But it's little sad that we haven't seen anything from Mitchell Russell, really. Like, he played a handful of games with the Thunder last year, the Wichita Thunder in the ECHL, and we just haven't seen him. So hoping he can get healthy and we can start to see him make an impact down with the Barracuda. And then on injured reserve, the Sharks put Jacob McDonald and Radim Shimmick. So both these guys will be at least 7 days out with their injuries. So again, the same thing. I think what we're going to see with Grier is, kind of Grier and Quinn, let let some of these young guys kind of have an extended camp battle into the regular season here. And then when Shimmick or McDonald comes back, then you can make a decision on what to do. And if Thrun and Knizhov and Emberson, if those guys are playing well, then you can you bring back Shimmick and you try to pass him through waivers. You bring back McDonald, you try to pass him through waivers. I would assume both those guys would clear through waivers. Shimmick, especially with his contract, I don't think a team is looking to take on that contract. And if a team claims Shimmick for his $2 million plus, that's actually not the worst thing in the world, because you're getting rid of that contract for, yes, you're not getting an asset back, but I think in most scenarios, you'd probably have to either get back very little, like maybe a 6 or 7 round pick, or you most likely would have to pay for someone to take on the Shimmick contract. So that's why I assume neither one of those guys are getting passed up or getting claimed on waivers. If someone does claim a guy like McDonald, it sucks, but then you have like a Gavanke, you have a Mukamadul, and you have some other guys that you can bring up from the Barracuda if you need it. So right now, McDonald's just kind of a placeholder for some of these younger guys as they kind of get ready. But overall, I mean, I think this is kind of what we expected from the roster. Like I said, I still think Giovanni Smith is a bit of a surprise compared to, a Peterson or a Lindblom. Again, Lindblom mainly based on his contract, not his play. But Smith, I think he's had a pretty solid training camp and preseason, but it's, again, for every good play, you see a play that you probably like back with him. But Shang had the lines today, and it felt very much like kind of what we talked about yesterday with the Sharks. So it seems like it's going to be Smith, Smith and Zetterlund probably fighting for that last spot. But the lines as of today is Hoffman, Hurdle, Zadina, Eklund, Granlund, Cunnin, Barabanov, Bordelot, Duclair, Smith, Sturm, LeBanc, Zetterlund. So we'll probably see some of those guys switching it out. And then Ferraro, Burrows, Vlasic, Emberson, Thrun, Ruda, and then Knizhov, Benning. So it'll be interesting to see who is not playing on opening night. We'll see how, because that could also change. So I'm very intrigued to see which of the defensemen kind of gets the opening night, kind of wins that job, at least for opening night, between Thrun, Knizhov, and Emberson. Like I've said before in the past couple of days, I think Thrun has been the best defenseman out of that group. And I think you can make a legitimate argument that Thrun's been one of the better defensemen in training camp in the preseason. And that's combining all the defensemen. So we'll see. If Thrun doesn't play right away, I don't think it'll be long until Thrun gets in, just because I think he's good. So I think he's kind of good. And I think the big question, though, will be what happens when we get when guys start coming back and who kind of filters in and filters out. And we'll kind of keep tabs on that as we kind of get closer to guys returning. I still think Bordelot is the easy answer for the forwards, but then you're going to have to make some difficult decisions when it comes to the defensemen and who you want to keep and who you want to kind of expose to waivers and see what kind of happens there. So, but yeah, I think no big surprises. Sharks using their IR, again, just trying to kick the can down the road before they have to kind of make some of these decisions and see who maybe plays themselves into a spot and who plays themselves out of a lineup. So before we continue, we get to our guest with Anthony Vincent of the San Jose Barracuda. Do need to take a quick break and talk to you guys about our good friends over at GameTime. GameTime is the perfect app for when you are searching for tickets to the next big event. They have fast and easy ways to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, theater events near you. They have killer last minute deals so you can see all the prices, the views of the seats, and the best price guarantee. GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. I've used GameTime several times before. I think it's great. One, you know how much you're paying, right? You know how to go to the checkout and see a bunch of fees added on by some other apps might do. And you get to see your seats, where you're going to sit, right? There's nothing worse than buying tickets and you get there and you realize you got bad seats. They've got a bunch of different stuff, for any type of event. So if you want, we got Sharks hockey starting, you got Warriors. You want to go catch a Niners game, plenty of concerts, comedy shows. They have you covered. So download the GameTime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON for $20 off. Again, LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And now we bring in San Jose Barracuda forward, Anthony Vincent. Anthony, how's it going, buddy?
It's going well. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I know you're kind of in the middle of training camp right now, and you guys have your first preseason game coming up. Or by the time you hear this, it'll just have happened. So, but I really want to thank you for kind of taking some time out. I know training camp could be kind of crazy right now, but I have to start with kind of a question I always ask. When did you realize that hockey could be like a thing for you?
I think it was when I was about 5. I actually saw one of my friends playing on the ice, and no one in my family's ever played hockey before. But once I saw him, I was like, I definitely want to give this a shot. And then after that, even though my parents thought it'd be like one day a week, I knew I wanted to play it as long as I could. So basically from the start.
I'm sure your parents' wallet did not. Like, don't you want to play an ice sport like soccer? Where, just buy some cleats, you're good to go. No, I know my kids. They've been wanting to get on the ice, and I'm just like, I might need another job to get you guys on the ice right now.
Yeah, it's definitely expensive, but I can't thank them enough for the sport and all that they've done for me too.
I mean, yeah, right. It seems to have so far kind of worked out for you. When you went to college, right? You went to Holy Cross. What made you want to go to Holy Cross? Was there like other schools you were kind of comparing? Why Holy Cross?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's a great academic school, but I've been asked this question before too, and the biggest thing was it was one of the only schools that really believed in me. It was one of the only offers I had too, and I couldn't turn down an unbelievable school as well as an unbelievable hockey program. So just playing there and getting the opportunity to play Division I hockey, which was my dream, it was a no-brainer.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I know Bill Simmons is a very famous alumni of Holy Cross. Is he there showing up at practice watching you guys?
No, I didn't see him around too much, but I'm sure he was following along and stuff like that.
Yes, I know. I always liked reading Bill Simmons stuff. I wish he would write more, but whatever. What did you study at Holy Cross?
I did accounting.
Accounting, okay. Mm-hmm. Is that if the hockey thing doesn't work out, is that what you want to do? Is go into accounting, or is it just like a nice, safe, Yeah,
it's definitely a good, safe backup plan for sure. It's definitely I've done a few jobs working in it over the summer, and definitely I want to stick to hockey as long as I can. But it's definitely a good backup.
Cubicle life, as someone who's 9 to 5 job, cubicle life can be interesting. So stick to hockey as long as you can. There's plenty of time for cubicle life.
Yeah, exactly.
At least, you should be able to kind of, take care of your own money. You're going to have a bunch of guys coming up to you now and like, hey, what do I do with my paycheck and stuff like that? You got them covered, right? Hey,
exactly.
Just go into sports agency. There's the next step. So, that's
perfect.
That's the way to go. Of course, then you transferred to Long Island University. What was that like, kind of jumping from one program to another?
Yeah, obviously it's always a little bit different going to a new school, new faces. Had to meet 30 new guys, but honestly, it was a great experience, and it sort of got me to where I am now. So, like I said, I can't thank Holy Cross for getting me to Long Island University, and then Long Island University for getting me to where I am now. So I ended up working out. I also got my master's, so got a little bit of both, and I'm playing. I guess I'm living the dream right now, so I can't complain with what happened these past couple of years. And for sure.
With college guys, especially with the COVID stuff, right? Getting the year of extra eligibility. How did that kind of going through that COVID season and everything with you? How did that work for you?
Yeah, so for COVID, to be honest, that was definitely a tough year. Like we were one of two teams on campus for the first semester, and we only played about 14 games that year. But um, the benefit to that, the positive side to that, was I got an extra year, and I was able to play at Long Island University. So in the end, like although it stunk in the beginning, definitely was a great benefit to me.
You didn't want to try. There's like that tight end who's got like 9 years of eligibility. You didn't want to try to go for that. The guy's got a mortgage and 3 kids, and he's still.
Yeah, I think 5 years was enough for me. Like I loved the guys. Obviously, I would always go back for the guys, but after 5 years of school, I think I'm good with just playing hockey for now.
All right. So of course you got an amateur tryout with the Cuda. Did you have any other offers after you graduated, or was kind of going professional on your radar? Or kind of like, what was the steps after you finished school?
Yeah, so it was sort of a wild turn of events. Like I was actually supposed to go to Savannah, Ghost Pirates in the East Coast League, and I was definitely grateful for that opportunity. And we were about to play Friday night against Arizona State, our final 2 college games. And in the morning, my coach texted me and said, can you come meet? And I guess San Jose Barracuda reached out and said, we'd like you to come down and try out and play for us. And without hesitation, I was like, absolutely. So within 2 days, that Sunday morning, I was off to San Jose. So it was definitely a crazy turnaround, but definitely worth it for sure.
Had you been to San Jose or been to the Bay Area before then?
So one time, I've been one other time. We actually played nationals out here when I was 18. So that was the last time I've been out here. But yeah, it's definitely a great spot to be.
And then this, you're kind of jumping in right end of the season. The Cuda are in a massive playoff run. Unfortunately, they just missed. You guys just missed, I think, by like a point or two. What was that like, kind of jumping into a heated playoff run like that?
It was awesome. Like it was, first of all, a dream to play professional hockey, and then just being in contention every night. Every game means everything to the team. So like every game counted. So it was awesome just to get that experience and play with the guys. And yeah, it was a great experience for sure.
And then, of course, you signed a AHL deal with the Barracuda, so you're going to be, sticking around San Jose for the season here. What would you say is your kind of expectations heading into the season, at least for yourself?
I think just to take every day and just appreciate the opportunities that I've been given, and don't take anything for granted, because like so many people could be here, and it's just a dream to be here. And I just want to work hard and see where it takes me, like just one day at a time for sure.
How would you describe your game for, maybe if people didn't really get a chance to catch you at the end of the season, or if they didn't get a chance to watch you in the rookie face-off, how would you kind of describe your game?
Yeah, I think I bring a little bit of grit. Definitely like to use my speed and play physical and sort of create some energy for the guys, but also like to take pucks to the net and try and create chances as well. But definitely the more physical energy game so far in my professional career.
You definitely were watching the rookie face-off. You kind of flashed there as well. You definitely, you saw that physicality and that speed. How was kind of playing those 3 games in Vegas?
Oh, it was awesome. Like definitely it's good to get those games in as well. So I get back up to speed. Like we obviously took about 5 months off since I played a game, but it's always great to play games against another opponent. Instead of taking it out in practice on your own teammates, you get to take it out on somebody else. So it's always fun to do that for sure.
I know you're a little bit older than the rest of the rookies. What is it like kind of hanging out with a bunch of, like 18, 19, 20-year-old kids in Vegas for 3 days?
Yeah, it just reminds me of college life. Like everyone's so close, everyone's hanging out, like everyone's young and they're all great guys. So it's definitely a great experience.
3 days in Vegas is about enough, right? Like anything more than that, it's too much, right?
I know. Yeah, I'm definitely not a huge gambler because I love my money, so like to keep that. But it's definitely a cool experience for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Vegas is super fun, but like 3 days is my limit, and then I'm like, I need to go home and like, yeah, just shower for like 30 minutes straight because that's how Vegas is. So, all right, guys, before we continue with Anthony Vincent, we get to know him a little bit off the ice. Find out, of course, if he wears socks with his skates. Kind of, just get to know Anthony off the ice. Do need to take a quick break here and talk to you guys about our good friends over at FanDuel. If you want to snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, they're America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So if you think about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action. The app is super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads. Dolphins 14. This feels like a walk in the park against a very bad Panthers team. Player props, keep hammering the Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown until I just keep doing it because you're going to win. So they have over-unders, a bunch of stuff. So right now, go visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Oof. There's a couple. I mean, I really love Zach Parise. I was sort of, because my friend was a Devils fan growing up, just getting into it. But I like to also like mimic my game after like a Brendan Gallagher or someone like that. Just small. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit bigger than him, but just like he's fast, hard to play against. He does everything. So I like to sort of model my game after him, someone like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know you answered my next question. Was who do you try to emulate? So, all right, let's get to know you a little bit off the ice. So, pre-game superstitious. Are you superstitious, a little stitious, or let it flow type of guy?
I'm sort of just let it flow. Like I do sort of do some of the same things, like just warming up and stuff, but I don't like to overthink things because if you have a good game, bad game, like for me, like if I'm relying on doing this one thing to have a good game, then I got to keep doing it. I just think like, just go with the flow, have a good warm up and see where it takes me, but just trying to keep even keeled before the game.
Are you one of the like quiet, like in your head, don't bother me, or are you kind of hanging out with the boys?
No, I definitely like to play like sewer and talk and sort of keep it relaxed. But once we're about to go out, I definitely like to dial it in and sort of keep to myself.
Gotcha. Headphones or you whatever they're listening to?
Usually whatever they're listening to. Like I do bring my headphones once in a while, but my music's not as good as anyone else's going to be playing. So whatever they're playing for sure.
Yeah. Do you like to be the aux guy? I know you didn't want to be the aux guy, at least when I read your interview with Liz. You don't want to step up, be the aux guy?
No, I got Spotify free, so my music's not very good. I'll keep it to Tristan Robbins. He's on the aux most of the time, so he's got some pretty good tunes.
Yeah, I know he's got a little bit of country, if I recall correctly with him. He does like his country. So
yep.
All right. Coffee. Yes, no, iced, hot. How do you take your coffee?
Coffee, either like iced or hot for sure, but just straight black. No cream, no sugar.
Do you have to before every game?
Yeah, I mean, I have like at least a cup a day. Yeah, I'm usually just 1 cup a day, and then on game days, I'll wait till like 4 o'clock when I eat my pregame meal, and then I'll have a coffee.
Nap before the game?
Yeah, quick one.
That's good. I know. I'm very jealous of the athlete life of the afternoon nap. It sounds great. My children definitely would not let that happen. So, socks and skates. Are you a monster who does not wear socks with their skates?
Oh, I always wear socks. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I don't know how those guys do that. Apparently it's like super comfy once you break it in, but I don't know how those guys could just like no socks and whatever. Like that just seems gross to me.
Yeah, no, that's not me for sure. I definitely like the socks on.
All right. Get you out of your last couple ones. What is your favorite when you're not on the ice or not training? What's your favorite kind of activity to do?
Oof. I guess I haven't been playing it too much right now, but definitely golf or, I mean, just hanging out with the guys or like there's a
Hmm.
nice pool here too, just sitting outside enjoying the rays and walking around and stuff like that. Nothing crazy.
Are you excited after kind of living up in the Northeast, being able to play golf like all year round, living in San Jose now?
Yeah, no, it's definitely awesome perk to being out here for sure.
Um, Watch out for Ethan Cardwell, that guy. I don't know if you played golf with
Yeah.
him yet.
Nope.
Uh,
I think I'm gonna stay away from that.
yeah, he's very good. I think his brother is like a professional or on his way to being a professional. So yeah, I think it runs in the family with him. All right. Last question before I get you out of here. What was the last thing you binge watched?
Oof. I have to think about that. I believe Queen of the South.
Okay. Well, I've never
So,
heard of it. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely an interesting one, but it's actually a really good movie. It's about like some drug lord sort of ring. It's pretty cool, but yeah.
All right. Um, Anthony, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you this year on the Barracuda. I think you're going to fit in right very, very well with those guys. Add some energy, and I'm sure the Reef is going to be excited to see you playing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me too. It was definitely a pleasure and I appreciate it again.
All right. We'll talk again soon, buddy. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Anthony Vincent. I think he's going to be a fan favorite for the Sharks very quickly with this style of play. Kind of a no nonsense, kind of grinder type of player, but I think he's got a little bit of skill with him. Like I said, I think he's going to quickly become a fan favorite with the Barracuda. But I think it's going to be a very fun Barracuda team this year, right? I talked about on Monday's episode where I think they have a nice blend of you're going to have a nice blend of NHL guys between your Lindbloms, your Petersons, et cetera, Ryan Carpenters. You have a nice blend of veteran guys. You have a nice blend of youth who's going to be kind of taking that next step. I think the goaltending is going to be much improved this year with hopefully E2 Makanemi kind of being healthy. And then you have Magnus Krona, who I think is going to quickly kind of rise the ranks. And I wouldn't be surprised if Krona's again, I think if he's making big starts at the end of the year, don't be surprised. So, not in with the Sharks' goaltending health. If McAnamy's up playing with the Sharks, I think Magnus Krona is more than willing and capable to kind of carry the load. We've seen him do it with University of Denver playing big games for them, and I think the jump for him from NCAA to from playing NCAA to professional in the AHL, I don't think it's going to be as big of a leap as maybe some other guys. So again, he's been playing big games for a while and with University of Denver. So I expect big things out of Corona. I expect big things out of Barracuda, and I don't see why this team should not be a playoff team. If everyone can kind of stay healthy and everybody does what we expect them to do, I don't see why this team isn't a playoff team and this team can't win a round or two in the playoffs. So we'll be back tomorrow. Max Miller of the Hockey News is going to join where we're going to kind of, just talk about the Sharks, what we saw from training camp. We'll have some fun as we get ready for the season. And then on Thursday, we'll do some big, bold predictions on the Sharks season. And then on Friday, we'll have your game recap of your first game against the Sharks versus the Golden Knights. So plenty of stuff coming up in your feeds here at Locked On Sharks. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can subscribe on YouTube as well. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You can follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. Until tomorrow. Bye, friends.